Dr Nightfowl at your service of Bufo, Lepus and Nightfowl, Society for the Protection, Care and Training of Familiars. I am afraid I have bad news from your Aunt Pythia. Dear genetically similar human, I am writing to you from the land with no sunset, where I am in pursuit of a familiar that is reputed to be able to freeze time. News has reached me of a calamity in the shadow world. The Book of Familiars has been damaged by a carbuncle stampede. This has dire consequences for you and your familiar, as the Book of Familiars contained the binding spells. You see, you must perform a binding spell on the night before Halloween, so that you and your familiar will be bound together, meaning that it will be able to share its magic with you. If you are not bound, then your familiar will change form and become just an ordinary pet. Though the Book of Familiars is lost, during my time spent with the librarian of Timbuktu, a bat named Leonard, I discovered a manuscript which told of a way to make a spell to bind a familiar to a witch or wizard. The first thing you must do is to give your familiar a secret name. It can be a name from your country or planet. You can make up a name or use a name that describes a characteristic of your familiar, its colour, or perhaps a sound it makes. I had a familiar once called Squawk before Mr. Stink, a pleasant, floofy little thing with the voice of a parrot. To make my spell, I began each sentence with the letters in Squawk's name, like so. Squawk flies on 2 wings, queen of the night, soaring under clouds and over waves with a piercing cry, she keeps me from harm. So you will need to write your familiar's name vertically, then start each line with each letter of your familiar's name, just as I did for Squawk. In your spell, you can describe what your familiar looks like, their favourite places to roam, how they move, how they sound, and the power they've revealed to you. When you've completed your spell, then speak the secret name 3 times. This will bind your familiar to you forever. This is a great occasion for celebration and snacks. I miss Squawk. She never nibbled on my rare book collection. Though I have never seen it happen, occasionally the naming spell can go awry, and witches or wizards have mistakenly spliced themselves with their familiars, creating a kind of human hybrid with wings, beaks, tails, all over the place. So before reciting your spell, you may wish to double check your spelling and full stops. I am sure you will be successful. Do send me your spell so that I can send it to Leonard in Timbuktu, and we will begin a new Book of Familiars. Yours faithfully, Aunt Pythia. The letter ends here. Assuming you survive the binding spell, I look forward to reading it. I bid you farewell. Thank you for taking part in Aunt Pythia's peculiar pet Halloween activities. We'd love for you to take part in all of Aunt Pythia's challenges, but you can also focus on just one if you wish. Once you've completed your familiar diagram, observation diary, map of the Shadowlands, your familiar binding spell, or your adventures using the site, please send your work to readnortheast@literacytrust.org.uk for a chance to be featured on our website. We'll be asking Aunt Pythia to pick her favourite responses to each of the challenges, with those selected receiving a bundle of free books. The best entry into the Map of the Shadowlands challenge will see their drawing turned into a professional illustration by the brilliant Lizzie Lovejoy at Lizzie_Lovejoy_illustration. You have until the 15th of November to submit your work so you can use Halloween for some extra spooky inspiration.